have a sexually transmitted infection. However, I did not contract it sexually. So this guy from my school walked in. I was like, Kamsi, something is bothering me. I said, what is it? A very quiet guy. Like, he can literally pass and you don't know because he walks like a ghost. That's how quiet I mean. So I said, I'm bothered because I have a sexually transmitted infection. However, I did not contract it sexually. I wanted to understand the concept of this thing because I know that the people that call this sexually transmitted diseases or sexually transmitted infections had reasons why, and I'm gonna share in this video. We're gonna share the reason why it is sexually transmitted infection. In other words, it can only mostly only be transmitted or contracted when you engage in sexual activities. Do you understand? So I was like, okay, feed me on this new discovery of yours that you have done with your body. You began to tell me stories and I'm gonna share with you people. So he told me that he feels that it was a certain day that he went to a certain toilet and he was peeing. Now, another problem I have with this guy is with the guy's presentation is this person in question is a guy, not a lady. If the guy was a lady, if the person in question was a lady, see, if the person telling me this or that told me this is or should be a lady, I will believe her and I will sympathize with her. I will tell you the reason why. Hold on. So the guy began to tell me that he felt that it happened when he visited a certain toilet. And now, I can't remember whether he said he peed or he pooed. Like, I can't remember whether he said he went to urinate or he went to defecate. That also is going to be one of the things that, is going to change the story. However, he said he went to use the toilet and he feels that this is the particular toilet that this thing happened. And this is the reason why this thing should happen this thing that happened should be from this toilet. This is going to be a long ride, guys, but hold on. Follow me, stay with me. So I said, okay, no problem. Asked him again, did you say you have confirmed? He said yes, that they have confirmed, they have found out the infection it is, and that his worries is, I just hope it's not going to affect my fertility and everything, because he was really in that point where you have to scratch. Many people that have sexually transmitted infection, they end up scratching. You don't understand? They scratch well. So he was in that stage where he was really scratching badly. So he was expressing his concerns with me that he doesn't know if this is going to affect fertility and all that. I said, okay, the thing is, just go on with the treatment and then let's hope all will go well. Okay, so I comforted him and I reassured him. This is what a nurse should do. I did the same. I reassured him. I said, I just hope all is gonna be fine. All right. So he said yeah, and then we parted ways. Now let's come back to analyzing this situation. Listen. Number one, sexually transmitted diseases. There's a reason why I'm gonna just talk about this. There is a reason why it is sexually transmitted diseases. Now, you see gonorrhea, you see syphilis. Listen, these sexually transmitted infections, they are called sexually transmitted because the bacteria that causes this particular infection, they can't endure an environment that is outside of the warmth of the body. So the reason why it is sexually transmitted diseases is because these bacteria cannot thrive outside of the warmth of the body. So if peradventure this person comes into the toilet and pee, of which the water in the toilet already is cold, once the person pees, the bacteria can't survive. They tend to pass out, like they tend to die. They can't survive in the environment that the toilet presents to them, so they die. So unless you are doing co-urinating with the person inside the toilet, like the person was peeing and you are peeing, there is this adage in Igbo. It says, when you come together and pee together, it brings about, or it creates, this foamy There's this foamy stuff that it brings or it creates. So if that is the case, I would believe you. But if that is not the case, I think I'll find it very hard to believe you. Why? Because once you pee and you leave, the environment in that particular toilet does not aid the breeding or the survival of this bacteria in question. That is the reason why it is sexually transmitted, because it has to pass from an environment that sponsors it to another environment that definitely sponsors it to another environment that do what? Definitely sponsors it. So for this guy, I find it so hard to believe this. That's number one reason why I find it so hard to believe. Okay, then number two reason why I don't believe this guy is, or why I fail to understand what he was talking about or what he spoke about, is because the person in question, like I stated earlier, is a guy. If the person in question should be a lady, I think I would have believed the lady. Why? The urethra of a man or of a guy is longer than that of a lady. The urethra of a guy is longer than that of a lady. That is another reason why I will not believe the guy, or I found it so hard believing the guy. Why? Because it's supposed to be that when you pee, if he was actually peeing, when he pee, he should pee into the toilet. He should pee into the toilet, and the water from the toilet should not have any contact with his body or with his urethra whatsoever. Then let's say he was pooing. Okay, you are pooing. Is it that you didn't flush the toilet before you started using the toilet, or what? And apart from that, it is still so hard to believe. Why? Because of the environment that sponsors this bacteria that is not conducive when we look at the environmental setting of the toilet. So, of which the only thing that environment should sponsor is urinary tract infection or bacteria that can lead to urinary tract infection, not sexually transmitted infection. But the symptoms he was experiencing is related to STIs, and it has been confirmed that this is STI. So, Oga, what did you do? What exactly did you do? That's another one. So, do you guys see what I'm seeing right now? Like, do you guys see what I'm seeing? If it was a lady, it's possible. Why? Because the urethra of a woman is short. So, we can say that, okay, it's slightly possible if at that point in time, let's say somehow the environment in the toilet is warm, or let's say the probability is just 20% of it occurring, right? Of it occurring at all. Then the probability of occurring in a lady is, let's say, 15%. So do you guys get what I'm saying now? So these are the things that I saw, and I can stand to rule out that STIs should not be contracted from the toilet. You can contract UTIs, urinary tract infections, and we're gonna treat you, and it's understandable. But you telling me that you contracted STIs from the toilet, that is so absurd. Like, are you serious? So guys, don't mind the background noise. I got some children playing around. Alright guys, I'm still Nurse Kamsianoma, and this is Sexuality and Health Wellness. We talk about it and we leave no crumbs behind. I'll see you all in my next video. I need to go and attend to these children because, brethren, stop it! Alright guys, bye.